Apartment and house tours have taken over every social media platform, and that's a problem because this has got to be one of the most dangerous trends I've seen online.
People that do house tours scare the life out of me. You're giving thieves a blueprint to your house.
Influencers will never learn. Safety needs to be your number one priority. Stop showing every detail of your house. I will never show the outside of my house, and I will never show every detail of my house. It's not gonna happen. It doesn't matter if you're a big creator, if you're not a creator at all. If you show any part of your life on the internet, please be safe.
Home tours are everywhere, but it's possibly one of the worst trends for internet safety. There are so many formats and variations of this type of content, like the classic or traditional home tours, empty home tours, home hunting videos, the list goes on. The level of risk really depends on the details shared within the video itself. As cozy and entertaining and inspirational as home tour content can be, some details can give your exact address to strangers online. Today, I'll be breaking down why home tours can be so dangerous, what details determine their risk level, and I'll be looking at the different types of home tour content. There are people who use the information that they're able to find about certain people online and show up to their house, target them for home invasion and burglaries, or target them for scams. Most people are normal, but not everybody watching has good intentions. There are a lot of influencers and social media personalities that at some point come out and say, hey guys, stop showing up to my house, because their fans keep showing up to their house and for some reason think that's okay. There are a lot of influencers and social media personalities who are targeted for home invasions and burglaries. And those people find the information to carry that out through that person's social media. Some of these home tours make it so easy to obtain that information. I've come across quite a few where the person will tell you exactly where they are, like the exact building or the exact street or the exact neighborhood. Like, I've learned this information against my will. The riskiness of a home tour depends on the details shared, and some details are much riskier than others. So some of the high risk details, like the details that you should never be sharing online, that would be things like showing your home exterior. That would also include your house number or your unit number, showing common areas or shared areas within your building, or sharing your neighborhood, and also applies to showing identifiable views outside windows. There's also certain details that are at a moderate risk level, so these details would be okay or more okay just as long as no high risk details are shared at all in conjunction with that. Because with high risk details, along with the medium risk details, it gives people more context to be able to know exactly where you are. So that would include the full home layout, or like giving people a walkthrough from start to finish, which gives people a lot of insight into what the floor plan or the blueprint of the home is, sharing the square footage or how much you pay for rent or the price of your home, showing expensive items on display, showing your security systems and different defenses that you have for your home, showing your car with no license plate visible. License plate visible is high risk as hell. And then also the part of town where you live. So not like the exact neighborhood, but if you live in like a general direction in town, that's definitely moderate risk. And then there are low risk details. These are details that have much lower stakes. So that would be things like showing individual rooms and covering or blurring windows. Okay, so now I'm gonna get into the different types of home tour content, and we're gonna kind of analyze and see if we can find those different risk factors within these different types of videos. Starting with traditional home tours. Traditional home tours are where people film a full walkthrough of their home. This is really popular across social media platforms, and you can really see the cultural influence of MTV Cribs in this style of home tour content.
Oh my god, hi MTV, welcome to my crib.
Showing the full home layout could be okay and could be a lot safer if it wasn't so popular to start from the complete outside of the actual space you're trying to show, and if it was a lot more popular to actually cover and blur the windows. Starting it off by walking down the hallway to the unit. The unit number is also fully visible. And then we see the actual unit with clear views out the windows. Somebody commented, "What neighborhood are you in?" And she responded with the neighborhood. Very high risk home tour.
Here's my house tour. Long awaited.
Okay, we're starting high risk outside the home itself. We get the full view of the front of the house from the outside. The house number is fully visible. And then we also got glimpses of the neighboring houses on both sides. Not a single window covered, and also showing the full layout from start to finish. This is like way too much information for people on the internet to have about where you live in your home.
Let's take a tour of my railroad apartment in New York City.
Starting off on the fire escape where the nearby buildings are visible. And it also gives a glimpse of what the outside of her actual building looks like.
Keep in mind, I'm a normal person. This is not a luxury unit, but it's perfect for me. And for $2,400, I think it's pretty special.
And then she narrows it down by saying the actual New York City borough that she lives in. People knowing the city itself is like enough, is it not? And then now we're going through the full layout from start to finish. So the next type or variation in home tour content are the empty home tours or move-in vlogs. This is where somebody is moving into a new home, so they want to show you the entire layout of their new space without any furniture in it before anything has been moved into the space. Showing an empty layout makes it a lot easier for someone to track and follow and kind of blueprint out the floor plan, but the real risk is still from starting on the very outside of the home itself or showing what the views look like outside the window.
Moving in October to a new building called We're on the roof right now, so I'm gonna take you on a hard hat tour with me.
This might be the most unsafe empty apartment tour I've ever seen. He has a hard hat on with the building's logo and he's saying the building name. He's starting off by showing all of the common areas in the building.
Welcome to the tour. Official apartment right here of going from a tiny 580 square foot one bed to a 1,200 square foot two bed. Look at these views.
Saying the square footage of the floor plan that he's renting, along with showing the full floor plan layout. Like, this is the type of content that you would see locators and realtors make, not someone showing off their space that they actually live in themselves. There are also a few other people who live in this building who have posted this same style of empty apartment tour, wearing the hard hat with the building's logo, saying the name of the building, giving a tour of the amenities, showing the empty apartment itself, like everything. I'm guessing the apartment lease is part of a promo partnership. Very smart, bro. And then he responds, 2 birds with 1 stone sort of deal. If this is a partnership, it's definitely not disclosed anywhere on this video or within the actual platform tools. I'm really just hoping that this building's security is robust because it is insane to put this out on the internet about where you live.
This was a whirlwind of a day. Literally getting the keys to this place did not feel real.
Okay, starting off by showing the leasing office, the outside of the apartment door, and then the layout of the empty unit with views out the windows, showing what the hallway outside the door looks like, what the outside of the building looks like. You see what I'm saying when I say that those like medium risk details really do depend on what else you're showing? Because I mean, if people knew what your car looked like without showing your license plate, or if people knew the full layout of your home, it wouldn't be like as risky as long as you're not showing people what the views outside your windows are and what your home exterior looks like that could really pin it down to a very specific location. Because if people are seeing the common areas, they're seeing what it looks like outside your door, they're seeing your house number, well, they can go, oh my gosh, I know that building. Oh my gosh, I know where that house is. And then all of those medium risk details just become more context clues to pin down your exact location. So the next type of home tour content is apartment or house hunting. In these videos, people are searching for their next home. So they're doing lots of apartment tours or they're doing lots of home tours at different places, and they take the camera along with them and do a vlog of sorts. So if you're looking more broadly across your entire city and you're not showing the exact place that you've chosen to be your home, it can be much safer.
Influencers will never learn. Safety needs to be your number one priority. Stop showing every detail of your house. Avery Wood just bought a house, which is super exciting for her. However, people are already stitching her video and showing her Zolink, how much she paid for how many square feet and how many bedrooms. Can we not do that? She has children. Let's put safety number one, okay? Red flag on her end, when she was touring houses, she was showing every detail of the house, the area she was in, and if she put an offer on it. Babe, if it is even a slightest potential, do not show it. I'm an American living in Europe, and I went through the buying process with my followers and showing everything like that. However, the ones I even had the slightest potential, I did not show. I did not talk about my price limit. I also, when I put an offer on my house, I made sure that thing was wiped from the internet. I'm not using my name to buy it so people can't look it up. Like, there is priorities in place, and I will never show the outside of my house, and I will never show every detail of my house. It's not gonna happen.
Exactly. There are a lot of ways to know or confirm which house or which building someone is showing or talking about. And a lot of time what helps people figure it out is sharing the square footage or sharing the price, because that is also public information, especially with buying a home home, especially with apartment buildings where they're public listings.
She also said on her Cheers podcast that she had to like lower showing her kids a little bit, because when she was in Target, people would be like, oh my God, and pick up her kid thinking like they knew her. No!
To walk up to somebody that you've never met in your life and pick up their child. So the next type of home tour content that I'm going to get into is like individual room tours. This is where a video is focused on a single room in someone's home. And this is really common for home decor content. So for example, they'll show you the decor in the living room in one video. In the next video, they're showing you just like a wall that they decorated. And the next one, it's maybe just like a shelf that they're decorating. But the whole point is you're really just getting glimpses of certain areas. And I believe that this is one of the safest ways to go about it. By isolating what you're sharing to a few spaces, you can show your decor and your lifestyle without giving every stranger on the internet a full walkthrough from the street to the back rooms. It can still be dangerous if identifiable views outside the windows are being shown, but if that's not the case, then it's low risk. Okay, the last type of home tour content that I'll be getting into is moved out tours. These are where somebody has moved out of their space and they're posting a home tour of that space that was filmed at an earlier date, or they're posting a tour that they did of the empty space before leaving. If you're wanting to do a home tour video going through the full layout, including those high-risk details like showing the outside of the home or the views outside the windows, then I think that this is the way to do it, and it's significantly more safe. Because when people see the tour, you won't be living there anymore and it won't be applicable to your current living situation.
Hello, welcome to our home in Dallas. If you're seeing this, it means we've moved, which is so sad, but I owe you guys a home tour. So come on in and I'm going to show you around.
So they're starting from the home exterior, but it's clear that if this is posted and we're watching it, then they wouldn't be living there anymore. And there are actually quite a few people that I've come across where they only opt to do the home tour and post it after they've moved out, which I think is very good.
When are you going to do an apartment tour? Never. I'm never doing an apartment tour, not until I decide I'm moving out. That's when I'll do an apartment tour. And I'm not going to do an apartment tour because people are crazy.
If you want to post online, I don't see like a reason why you can't. And I also don't think that people should be just throwing all caution to the wind and not like managing their internet safety. As long as you're being strategic, as long as you've made some sort of plan for your safety online, it's totally doable to make much safer content. A little over a year ago when I started talking about this topic, a lot of you guys were asking for some sort of resource to help you guys practice internet safety and have it be a bit less overwhelming. So I created a social media safety guide. It makes safety a seamless part of the posting process. It has a whole guide in there and even walks you through creating your own safety plan, and also comes with 2 flowcharts to help you kind of check and audit your content that you're trying to post or anything that you might have already posted. It's kind of like those magazine quizzes where you start at the top, you answer different questions, and it brings you to a result of whether or not that piece of content is safe enough to post. So if you feel like that's something that could help you out, it's available in the description. Apartment and house tours can be extremely dangerous when people aren't strategic about what they're sharing. Safety practices are risk management that give you your power back. You lock your doors when you leave your house. That doesn't mean that nobody is ever going to attempt a burglary on your home, but it means they're going to have a much harder time getting in through the doors. Whenever you want to post about your life on social media, you practice internet safety. It doesn't mean that somebody won't try to find you, but you sure as hell are not making it very easy for them. Even if you've decided that you don't care about sharing those different details online, it's all fine with you, then at least you've thought about it. Because I feel like with a lot of these trends, we just kind of jump onto them without thinking, when a lot of them can be very inherently safe with the information that you're kind of having to provide to people online. Anyway, let me know if there's anything I said in this video that stood out to you or anything I didn't mention. See you next time.